Hi, my name is Corme, and today we're taking you guys through some tips and tricks that you can do as an augmentation evoker inside of Brackenhide. There's quite a few cool little spots where you can save time with skips and avoiding mechanics, save some time on bosses, pull some extra trash on bosses in this dungeon, and in order to do that, you're going to want to make sure that you're bringing both Sleepwalk and Weyrnstone into this dungeon every single time. Now I'm going to get right into it instead of talking too much. The first thing that we're going to see that you can do as an augmentation evoker in this dungeon is you can pull these hyenas separate from the hunters to get some extra count. Usually, most people pull this first hyena here with this first pull. There's also another hyena that you can pull out that I know of that you can get some extra count. This is one of those like dungeons where the routes kind of change a lot depending on the group, but you can maybe save a little bit of extra like count somewhere else by pulling this hyena and some pretty count. Once you sleepwalk it, you just want to break it out. It's usually faster if you just cast Living Flame. I learned that the hard way, and then it'll come in, and then you can just go on your dandy way. The next thing you want to make sure that you're doing as an augmentation evoker is putting your Weyrnstone on either your healer or your Shadow Priest here. So here, I just have it on my Shadow Priest because after we do this pull, she's going to go get one of these middle cages while we go start another pull. So that means you can go over Mind Soothe, get that cage, and then she can Weyrnstone to us. You can also put it on the healer if you're going to go around to the right this first way and then put on the Shadow Priest later. It just depends on what cages you're getting. In this case, though, our Missy she is playing Night Elf, so during this pull, she's going to Nelf off at some point, and then she could get the cage, so I don't need to Weyrnstone her for her to catch up with us. So that's pretty nice. Sleepwalk trick you can do is right here to get into the first boss room. So if you Mind Soothe and walk by, if you hug really tight, you can usually get by, but it's kind of like a little sketchy depending on like the server tick, so it's usually just safer if you just Sleepwalk this Bone Crusher goodbye. We Mind Soothe this, and then during the boss after Trick Totem is dead, we pull this trash on for the last two since they're pretty easy and it's a really good time save in this dungeon. So after the first boss, there are going to be 3 spots that you can use in order to evade the Lasher dodge. So this is especially relevant if you have 3 range in your group, which most comps normally have, you know, Shadow Priest, Mage, and then the Augmentation Evoker. This one is a little bit different. However, it's still relevant, and we're going to do this with Shadow Priest here. So the very first spot that we go to, and we do the entire route between the first boss and second boss based on these 3 spots in order to dodge the Lasher Bleeds. It's going to be up on this post right here. You don't have to be an Augmentation Evoker in order to get to the spot. So if your group does struggle to get up there, they can. Normally, I just let the Shadow Priest because they just usually know how to do it. They just jump. See her, she's going to jump right here on this post and land right there. Once she's done that, I can usually just like BE up to her. I also have Weyrnstone on her still, and then I get up there. I usually wait a little bit though because I have to Breath of Aeons, and so we do 2 to 3 pulls depending here, and the entire time we just end up staying here. And then whenever we pull the Oaks and the Lashers, they won't be able to melee whoever's up on this post. So if you just have like a Holy Paladin and the tank, then it's only going to go on the tank and the Holy Paladin. And that's usually pretty easy because the tank can take a lot of the stacks, and paladins are a lot tankier than something like a Shadow Priest or a Mage, which are Slothburn classes, which get absolutely wrecked by those Lashers. Okay, on to the next spot. I'm going to start here because I want you to be like oriented where it is. It's going to be right up here when you leave that post. So right up here on the hill is where this next spot is going to be. You want to make sure that you're dodging the Rotsinger pat when you're getting up there. And the pull that we do here kind of varies. Normally we have that slime pull in the pull before, but the main thing that you're looking out for is the fact that you're getting the shapers inside the cave and then the oak over here, just depending on the pat. And you're going to want to get your range up onto this spot. It's pretty easy. I'll show you here in a second whenever I decide to get up. You're just going to go over here and you're just going to like hover forward. I'm out of charges here, so this is actually like a bad example, and I ended up using my time spiral to get up there. Bit of a bad example, but yeah, as long as you have a hover charge, you can get up there, and then I put her up there, and then I can get downstairs so I can do Breath of Aeons, and then again, if I need to get back to where she is, then I can just BE back to her, or I can Weyrnstone back to her if I need. And then there is one more spot. It's going up towards the 3rd boss. Up there over here, if you don't recall, there's a waterfall right here, and you're going to use this to get into the next spot. You're going to want to get up on the waterfall. And I usually take a while to set this one up. This one is definitely the trickiest to get to. And what you're aiming for is this tree branch right here. So what you got to do is you got to jump, hover across, and then land there. What I like to do, you'll see me get in position right here, is get like not quite on top of the tree branch, because then if you get too much air, you'll overshoot it. But get like right where this rock and this tree like kind of meet on this corner. And then I do one jump and then I hover. This one is a bit trickier than the others. You can see like I barely land on it. I'd say I probably only hit that about 75%. That's a little bit frustrating to do. But this spot is super value because you have the 2 oaks spawning lashers the entire time. There's a lot of lashers, and there's lashers over here. This is definitely like the scariest part with the bleeds, I would say. So this is like probably one of the more important ones that you want to go like practice and like an M0 or whatever, just to, like get the feel of it. And then yeah, once I get up here, in this case, I rescue up our priest, and we have a priest and a mage, so then he will grip up the mage. And then we also like to put our holy paladin up here most of the time. So playing time spiral here, making sure that time spiral here is usually important, so that we can time spiral and grip him up as well. We don't always do it though, it just depends on the app, because I don't think we did it this week because it was tyrannical. And again, I get down here, I end up doing Breath of Aeons, or I should do Breath of Aeons, and then I will Weyrnstone back up whenever I need to. And then that is all the spots that you need to like worry about for trash, and the next 2 tricks are just going to kind of pertain to the bosses. For Treemouth, so whenever he does the grasping vines that he's about to do here, and then he sucks someone in, he gets an absorb, and it means you can't really do like real damage to the boss if you're trying to break the person out, and also you have to heal the person and worry about if they'll live. In order to avoid that, you can put Weyrnstone on someone, or you can have Weyrnstone yourself and Weyrnstone out. In this case, I have it on our Holy Paladin right here. So he's going to get it. You can see it has his consuming cosmetic, which is our Holy Paladin, and then he's going to cast Weyrnstone, and he's going to teleport to me, and it'll stop the consume. He's going to teleport to me, and then it's going to spawn all the ads here. And you can do that for every single one, because the cooldown on like changing who has the Weyrnstone is only a minute. The cooldown of using Weyrnstone itself is 2 minutes, but usually like 3 or 4. So like you can do the first one, then you can have someone else do the next one. The only thing that we like try to like keep in mind when doing this is that I do want to keep Weyrnstone for skipping Strinkbreath on our tank, because he's the one who's doing it, because he's our night elf. And also I need to make sure that I have Weyrnstone up when we get to the next boss. So usually I like to try and do like the first one, and I never have my tank do it, because I want to make sure that his Weyrnstone doesn't go on CP. You can do that again for every single grasping vines. They're about a minute apart, so it's really easy. And then the next thing you need Weyrnstone for is skipping Strinkbreath. Show you that. We're going to say we're going to go to the left, and our tank is just going to pull Strinkbreath, and he's just going to run him away. I usually just rescue over to be safe. He's pulling him away, and once we say we're through, he's going to melt, and I'm going to wait right here, and he's going to cast Weyrnstone and teleport to me. Super easy way to skip Strinkbreath. When you are approaching the 3rd boss, what you do as an Augmentation is you just jump off the bridge before the 3rd boss, and you go over to this other bridge, and we're pulling this pack right here. It's basically like a stealth collar and a bunch of other stuff. I overshot my hover because this is not how I normally do it. That's why it's important to have time spiral for things like this. If you're being silly, there's a much cleaner and easier way to do that than what I just showed you. But basically, you just hover up, and then you just I just Azure Strike the mobs, and then I just Weyrnstone back. This allows you to pull a bunch of trash onto the boss instead of having to do it in a pull after the boss. And yeah, that basically sums up all of the Augmentation Evoker utility in here. You have the ability to save a lot of time. Again, most of these tricks though are only going to be really useful inside of a coordinated group. So in a pug, maybe like rescuing people up into those spots and stuff like that would kind of work, but if they don't know what's going on, they're going to be really confused while you're putting them up on tree branches and stuff. Yeah. Thank you and good luck.